My dear students, Namaste. Welcome back to the class. And in the last class, we discussed about the different terminologies which are used frequently in this chapter. Okay, that is principles of inheritance and variation. Moving to the next topic. So, there is a person called Gregor Mendel. Okay, Gregor Mendel. He is referred as father of genetics. Father of genetics. So, who is the father of genetics? Gregor Mendel. During mid-19th century, okay, during mid-19th century, the person Mendel, he started series of experiments to study the inheritance. Okay, to study the inheritance, Gregor Mendel during mid-19th century started to perform series of experiments using a plant called garden pea plant. Garden pea plant. He selected this garden pea plant. The botanical name of garden pea plant is Pisum sativum. Pisum sativum. This is the botanical name of garden pea plant. Mendel, he selected this garden pea plant for his hybridization experiments. Hybridization experiments. He carried out series of experiments like cross-pollination and self-pollination in this Pisum sativum or garden pea plant, and he carried out the experiments continuously for 7 years. Not just for 1 or 2 years, for continuous 7 years, he experimented on this Pisum sativum plant to study the inheritance. Okay, how the characters are inherited from one generation to another generation anta. Gregor Mendel, father of genetics, and he studied about the inheritance patterns from one generation to the another generation, and finally he proposed laws of inheritance, okay, that we call it as Mendel's laws of inheritance. Mendel's laws of inheritance. Mendel selected 14 varieties of characters or 14 characters for his experiments in garden pea plants. Okay, garden pea plants alli iruvantaha 14 characters annu he selected and he experimented and studied that how these characters are inherited from one generation to another generation. Okay, so Pisum sativum, that means garden pea plant, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅವನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ 14 characters. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, 13 and 14. 14 characters he studied, and inheritance of these characters were studied by the Gregor Mendel. Okay, 14 characters means 7 pairs of contrasting characters. Okay, 7 pairs of contrasting characters. Here the contrasting traits are nothing but characters. So contrasting trait is nothing but the opposite characters. For example, if you consider the stem height as a character, okay, ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಹೈಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಶೋಸ್ 2 opposite characters, tall or dwarf. They are opposite characters alva. So tall ಮತ್ತೆ dwarf ಅನ್ನು we call it as contrasting character. Okay, contrasting characters are nothing but the opposite characters. So Mendel selected 7 pairs of contrasting characters in the pea plant. Okay, so these are the different characters, 7 pairs of contrasting characters. Here the contrasting traits having the dominant and the recessive. Okay, these are the dominant traits, these are the recessive traits. You know what is mean by dominant and the recessive, right? So first character selected by the Mendel in pea plant was the seed shape. ಓಕೆ ಪೀ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪೀ ಸೀಡ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಬಟಾಣಿ ಕಾಳೇನಿದೆ ಅದರ ಶೇಪ್. ಓಕೆ, ರೌಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಓವರ್ ರಿಂಕಲ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ರೌಂಡ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಬಟಾಣಿ ಕಾಳು ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ರೌಂಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಏನು ಪೀ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದಿಸ್ ರೌಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಂಕಲ್ಡ್ means like this. It's not round, okay, irregular, wrinkled, that in case of seed shape. Okay, pea seed is round and recessive trait is wrinkled. And another pair of contrasting character which includes a seed color. Again seed color, yellow is dominant trait, green is recessive trait. And next is the flower color. Okay, flower color, violet is dominant over white. Okay, violet is dominant, white is recessive. Next is the pod shape. Full is dominant over constricted. Full means what? The pod will be like this. Okay, but constricted it will be like this. Okay, full and constricted. Next, pod color. Okay, green is dominant over yellow pod color. Next, flower position. Axial is dominant over terminal flower. Axial flower means, if you consider this as the stem of the pea plant, and on the lateral side, if flowers are observed on the lateral side, okay, side alidre, then it's axial flower. Terminal means the flowers is produced at the tip of the branches or stem, then it's called terminal. Terminal is a recessive trait, axial is a dominant trait. And stem height, this you know, tall is dominant over dwarf. Okay, so these are the 7 pairs of contrasting characters selected by the Mendel for his study. Then why Mendel selected the garden pea plant for his experiment? There are 3 main reasons behind this selection of garden pea plants for his experiments or hybridization experiments. The first the reason is the flowers of this garden pea plant are bisexual flowers. Okay, flowers of the garden pea are bisexual flowers. What is mean by bisexual flowers? The single flower is having both male reproductive organ and female reproductive organ. Nothing but stamens and the pistils, both are present in the same flower, so that he can easily do the self pollination, or if if it's needed, then he can easily carry out the crossing or cross pollination also. So both the type of pollinations can be easily performed using these bisexual flowers, because crossing is important in getting the hybrids, right? Crossing or the cross pollination is required to get the hybrids or heterozygous individuals, and selfing is important to get the homozygotes or homozygous plants, or we can call it as a pure lines. Okay, pure lines or true breeding lines can be obtained by continuous selfing. So selfing is also easy in these plants, because Mendel selected the pure lines or the true breeding lines for his experiments as parents. Okay, so this is the first reason why he selected the garden pea plant. And next reason for selection is easy cultivation. Okay, easy cultivation, ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, and in one season itself. Okay, in one season itself, we can grow the plant from seed to the adult. Okay, from seed to the adult plant can be grown in just one season. Andre one season alli already one season alli grow aguvantaha plant and select ಮಾಡಿಯೇ Mendel studied for 7 years or carried out experiments for 7 years, right? So ಆದಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ರೀಸನ್ ವೈ the Mendel selected the pea plant for his experiment. And last or the third important reason is the pea plant shows 7 different characters with clear contrasting traits. With clear contrasting trait. That means the 7 different characters are easily observable in pea plants. ನಾವಾಗ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವಲ್ವಾ 1 to 7 till the stem height. ನೀಟಾದ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಇತ್ತು, ಹೌದಾ? ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ದಿ height of the plant as character, clear tall plant or either tall or dwarf plant, clear distinguish ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ 3 are the reasons why Mendel selected the pea plant or Pisum sativum for his hybridization experiments. Okay. Next, we are going to study the different genetic crosses which was conducted by the Mendel. The first genetic cross we are going to study is monohybrid cross. Okay, monohybrid cross. This is the first type of genetic cross. So monohybrid, mono single, that means the cross between two plants. Okay, cross between two plants which differ in one character, which are differing in one character. ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ದೇ ಡಿಫರ್ ಇನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ಅದರ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಹೋಮೋಸೈಗಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬೇರೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಹೋಮೋಸೈಗಸ್ ಇದೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಎರಡು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ದೇ ಡಿಫರ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಉಳಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ they show same characters. Okay, so here the Mendel, he crossed two plants which are differing in one character and named that cross as monohybrid cross. Mono, single character difference. Okay, and that is called as monohybrid cross, and ratio obtained by this cross at the end we will discuss that, and that ratio is called as monohybrid ratio. Monohybrid ratio, and the inheritance is called as monohybrid inheritance. Okay, monohybrid inheritance, monohybrid ratio last ge discuss ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, and monohybrid inheritance. So let us discuss how this monohybrid cross was done or conducted by the Mendel. So he selected two plants, as I told, they differ in just one character, or you can say a pair of contrasting characters. Okay, one character difference ide athwa a pair of contrasting characters difference ide. So first he selected the parents and he considered the stem height as an character. Okay, as a character, stem height, he has taken the stem height as a character, and parents were tall plant and the dwarf plant. Okay, tall plant and the dwarf plant. these two were the parents. He has taken the parents. He has taken the tall plant and the dwarf plant as parents. Okay, tall and dwarf plants. That means homozygous tall and homozygous dwarf. They are pure lines. Nenpitkolli. And parents are the tall plant and the dwarf plant. Right? This is the phenotype now. Correct? This is the phenotype, external appearance. Next, the genotype of these respective plants are homozygous. As I told, this is the homozygous tall plant and homozygous dwarf plant. Correct? Next, the gametes were, see here, all the gametes produced by this tall plant was containing capital T because only one gene. Howda? Eradu kuda similar genes agide. So capital T matra irtade in all the gametes. But in here, same, small t. Correct? All the gametes will have small t. And next, you need to write the F1 generation, or you can say first filial generation. Filial. Okay, first filial generation. So first filial generation or F1 generation you need to write here. That means the fusion of these two gametes, right? Pollen grain and the egg. The genotype of the F1 will be capital T and small t, right? So you know that this capital T is dominant over small t. So capital T is responsible for the tall and small t for the dwarf, correct? So what will be the phenotype of this offspring? Tall, correct? This is tall. So all the F1 plants obtained from this cross were tall only, but heterozygous. Correct? Heterozygous tall plant. Nothing but hybrid. So these plants were referred to as F1 hybrid. F1 hybrid. And again, he selfed or selfing. He selfed the plant. Okay, F1 plant annu selfing madida. That means this will be the cross now, correct? This will be the cross. And next you need to write the gametes. Okay, either the pollen grains or the eggs. Hege baribeku? Here 50% of the gametes are with capital T and remaining 50% of the gametes with the small t. ಹೌದಾ? ಈ heterozygous condition ಅಲ್ಲಿ gamete formation ಆಗುವಾಗ the chances of distribution of capital T and small t is a 50-50. Okay, 50% of the gametes will have capital T and remaining 50% have small t. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ for example 100 gametes produce ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಾದರೆ 50 gametes will have capital T, remaining 50 small t. Okay, same thing here, right? Same condition, 50% of the gametes having capital T, 50% small t. Okay, next you need to write the F2 generation or second filial generation. Okay, F2 generation or second filial generation. To write this F2 generation, you need to draw a graphical representation. Okay, you need to draw a graphical representation, and this representation is called as Punnett square or Punnett chart anta helteve. Let us write this Punnett square now in the top row and the left column. in the top row and the left column, you need to write okay, here this indicates the male and female gametes. This representation like this is the male and this representation is the female. Okay, so in the first, or you can say in the top row, you are going to write the female gametes, or you can write male gametes also, capital T, small t, right? And just on the left column, in Baritiri again these two gametes. Okay, idiga represents egg, this represents the pollen grains, and here along the first row it's a female represent ಮಾಡಿದೆವಲ್ವಾ, so eggs. Okay, pollen grains and eggs, right? And inside each square or inside each boxes, the possible individuals are written here. Okay, possible individuals or offsprings are written inside these boxes. Okay, and together this representation is called as Punnett square. Okay, Punnett square. Punnett square or Punnett chart. Okay, this Punnett square or Punnett chart was given by a British geneticist called Reginald C. Punnett. Okay, this Punnett square, just a graphical representation called as Punnett square, given by British geneticist Reginald C. Punnett. Okay, so now you need to write the possible F2 inside these boxes, correct? So how you need to write? See, here the pollen grain having capital T, egg having capital T, that means individual will have these two genes. Again in the next box, capital T from the pollen, small t from the egg, that means capital T, small t. And next box ali, next line you need to see, that is pollen grain having small t and egg having capital T, this condition. And at the last column, the pollen having small t, when it gets fertilizes the egg having small t, then this will be the condition, right? So fertilization is written here, that means when the pollen grain with capital T and the egg with capital T fertilizes, this will be the condition. Next and next and next. Okay, now you need to write, this is the genotype of the F2, correct? Idiga F2 vina genotype. You need to write the phenotype under this. Okay, exam allu kuda you need to follow the same steps here. Each step carry the mark. Ide steps alli baribeku. Parents, genotype, gametes, F1, selfing, gametes, F2. Okay, so what will be the phenotype of this individual, F2 individual? It's tall. Next, capital T is dominant over small t, capital T for tall. And here also same condition, tall F2. And here homozygous recessive, that means dwarf. Okay, these are the possible F2 plants in this cross. And next you need to write the genotypic and phenotypic ratio. Okay, genotypic and phenotypic ratio. First write the phenotypic ratio. How to write this phenotypic ratio? Look at the phenotypes here. Phenotypes means external appearance consider ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ external appearance tall and dwarf. ಹೌದಾ? ಎರಡು external appearance ಇದೆ. One is tall and one is dwarf. ಎರಡೇ possibility. So here write it as tall is to dwarf. Correct? Tall is to dwarf. How many tall plants? Don't consider the genotype here, just the phenotype. How many tall plants out of 4? Out of 4 plants, 3 are tall. Correct? So 3 is to how many dwarf plants? Out of 4, 1 is dwarf. So 3 is to 1 is the phenotypic ratio. 3 is to 1 is the phenotypic ratio. Next comes the genotypic ratio. Genotypic ratio. Now you need to consider the genotypes. How many genotypes? See, the first one is capital T right here is to next type capital T small t. Again capital T small t. Next genotype is small t. Homozygous dominant, heterozygous or hybrid, homozygous recessive. So how many capital T genotypes? 1. Correct? Out of 4, 1. And how many capital T small t heterozygous? 2. And how many small t? 1. So this is about the genotypic ratio and the phenotypic ratio. So ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. If the question is asked like explain the monohybrid cross. Okay, so monohybrid cross is the cross between two plants differ in a pair of contrasting characters or differ in a character, and the ratio obtained is called as monohybrid ratio and the inheritance is called as monohybrid inheritance. So next you need to explain it. ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನು ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ I was explaining the cross, right? So ಆ explanation ಕೂಡ ಬರಿಬೇಕು along with this schematic representation. Schematic representation also carries mark till the genotypic ratio you need to write. Okay, this question may be asked for 5 marks. Explain the monohybrid ratio, monohybrid cross. The genotypic ratio of the monohybrid cross, that means 1 is to 2 is to 1, right? 1 is to 2 is to 1. That means out of 4 plants, 1 was capital T, and out of 4, 2 was the capital T small t. That is what we can write it as 1 by 2 is to again small t. Out of 4, 1 is small t. And this ratio can be mathematically condensable to the form of a binomial expression. Okay, ನೀವು ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ binomial expression. So this ratio can be condensable to the form of binomial expression like ax plus by whole square. Okay, ax plus by whole square. That means if you consider the capital T, then there is one, out of 2, 1 plant will have capital T. That means the 50% of the possibility of capital T going to the gametes, again the 50% chances of small t going to the gametes. This can be the reduced form of that expression because if you just expand this, okay, expand this like half t plus half small t whole square plus half t plus half small t whole square, and finally you will get the same thing. You will get capital T plus 1 by 2 So when you expand this, then it will be half t plus half small t into again same thing plus half t, right? So finally you will get this same thing, that means 1 by 4 capital T plus 1 by 2 capital T small t plus 1 by 2 small t small t. This is why it's called as, this is why they said that the binomial expression in the form of ax plus by ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾವುದು? ಈ ರೇಷಿಯೋವನ್ನು. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎ ಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್. See, just consider a tall plant. Okay, just consider a tall plant. Then what is the genotype of this tall plant? You know that the tall plant is, tall is a dominant character over the dwarf character. So what is the genotype? Now tall is the phenotype, right? So what might be the genotype of this tall plant? ಈ tall plantiನ genotype ಯಾವುದು? See, there are two possibilities, right? Since the tall is the dominant character, tall is the dominant character, two possibilities in its genotype. ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು genotype? Genotype may be the homozygous condition. ಹೌದಾ? This homozygous condition also give rise to tall character, or the heterozygous condition capital T small t. ಈ ಥರ ಕೂಡ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಥರ ಕೂಡ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾವುದು? The genotype of the tall plant is either capital T or capital T small t. Then how to find out the genotype of this particular tall plant? Tall pea plant na genotype ಯಾವುದು? Whether it is this or this. How to find out the genotype of an individual showing dominant character? Okay, so genotype of an individual showing dominant trait or dominant character. So how to find out the genotype of an individual showing or having dominant trait? Because in case of dominant traits, the heterozygous condition also gave rise to the dominant character. Even the homozygous condition also gives the dominant character. So how to find out the genotype? So ಈ tall plantina genotype, whether this or this. How to find out? There is a type of cross called as test cross. Okay, there is a type of cross called as test cross. So test cross, why it's important? To find out or to determine the genotype of an individual showing or having dominant trait or dominant character. So in this test cross, the individual having dominant character is crossed with its recessive parent. It's a recessive parent. So test cross is the cross between an individual showing the dominant trait or the dominant character and recessive parent, and it's a recessive parent. So what is the significance of the test cross? To find out the genotype of an individual showing the dominant character. So dominant character ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ನ genotype find out ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ test cross is important. So how this test cross is done? So this test cross is also asked in the exam. What is test cross and explain. So first you need to write the definition of the test cross. Okay, what I told here, that was the definition. So next, in this cross the parents are the individual showing the dominant trait, correct? Here the tall plant is crossed with its recessive parent. Its recessive parent. So tall plant andre you will get two possibilities, right? That means one is capital T, one more is capital T small t, and this is crossed with its recessive parent andre idu hauda dwarf plant, and again it's crossed with the dwarf plant. So ಎರಡು condition ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ what will be the result? Let us see the result. Now these are the parents here, right? And then you need to write the gametes. Gametes, in the first case all the gametes will be having capital T, in the second case all the gametes will be having small t, right? So what will be the result? The result, all plants obtained will be tall. ಇದೊಂದು result, ಹೌದಾ? And in the second case, gametes, how you will write the gametes? Here two possibilities, but in the next one only one possibility. Here capital T, 50% having this small t, right? And next write the fertilization. Here the Punnett square is not needed because only two offsprings we will get, capital T, small t, and small t, small t. So look at the result now. In the first case, when the unknown tall plant was capital T, the genotype of the unknown tall plant was this, then the result will be this. Okay, all the plants at the end of the test cross will be the tall only. This means the unknown individual showing the dominant trait, its genotype is capital T, capital T. Okay, so result alli ella tall plant bandre this is the meaning. And if you look at the second, ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? See, tall plant 50% and dwarf plant 50%, 1:1 ratio. Okay, if the ratio of the test cross is 1:1, then it indicates that the individual with dominant character, okay, individual with the dominant character, its a genotype is ಯಾವುದು? Heterozygous. That unknown individual was heterozygous or hybrid. Okay, this is why we require the test cross. If it's asked in the exam, then no need to write this one, don't write this one. Okay, this indicates, write this, and this ratio 1:1 indicates that the dominant character showing individual's genotype is capital T, small t, heterozygous. So the result, or you can say the ratio of the test cross is 1:1. Okay, idu just for the understanding purpose. Actual test cross ratio is 1:1. So test cross, what is the significance? At the end you need to write the significance also. Even in the exam it carries mark. So significance of test cross is to determine or to detect the genotype of an individual showing the dominant character. Mendel, when he carried out the monohybrid crosses, monohybrid inheritance pattern when he studied, and then finally he gave two laws of inheritance. Okay, they were called as principles or laws of inheritance. They are called as principles or laws of inheritance. After he studied the monohybrid crosses, based on his observations, he proposed two laws. Okay, based on the monohybrid cross observation, Mendel proposed two laws. One or first law is called as law of dominance. Okay, ಎರಡು laws propose ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. The first one is the first law of inheritance or law of dominance. Okay, law of dominance. This is what the law of dominance says, may be asked for 3 marks. So, characters are controlled by discrete units called factors. Okay, so first point under the law of dominance is the characters are controlled by a discrete units called as factors. So now we call the factors as genes. Now ಈಗ factors ಅನ್ನು genes ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, but that time gene term was not coined, so he named those discrete units as factors. Okay, so each characters, for example, height of the plant, this is a character and this is controlled by a factor. Now we call this factor as gene, but he called the genes as factor. Okay, discrete units means separate units called factors, and factors occur in pairs. Factors occur in pairs. Now we know that each gene has two alternative forms, right? Two alternative forms, right? So capital T, small t, they occur in pairs. So factors occur in pairs. And in a dissimilar pair, now we call them as dissimilar pairs ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈಗ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, heterozygous condition ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. That means this condition in a dissimilar pair of factors. This is the similar pair of character or similar pair of character or similar pair of factor. ಇದು ಹೌದಾ, similar pair of factor, but here it's a dissimilar pair of factors. In a dissimilar pair of factor, the one member dominates the other. One member dominates the other, right? So the member which dominates is called as dominant. Now we call it as dominant gene anta heltevalva, athwa another one is called as recessive. So in a dissimilar pair of factors, one is dominant over the another. The dominant is called as dominant factor, another one is called recessive factor. This is the first law or law of dominance. Okay, so characters are controlled by the separate or discrete units called as factors, and factors are always present in pairs, and in a dissimilar pair the one factor is dominant over the another factor. Okay, so next is the second law or law of segregation. Here the law of segregation means separation. Okay, segregation means separation. So let us discuss this second law or law of segregation. Though the parent contain two alleles, during the gamete formation, the factors or the alleles of a pair segregate from each other in such a way that each gamete receives only one of two factors. See, though the parent contain two alleles, that means if you consider the tall pea plant as parent, if you consider the tall pea plant as a parent, it contains two alleles. Howda? For tall, it contains two alleles. It may be like this or like this. Correct? So it contains two alleles, and during gamete formation, factors or alleles of a pair during gamete formation. The factors or alleles of a pair, idu one pair of alleles, right? So alleles of a pair segregate from each other. See, when you write the gametes, how you will write? These two alleles segregates in such a way that each gamete gets only one factor. Each gamete will get only one factor. Same here, there are two factors or pair of alleles during gamete formation. There is a 50% of chance of getting capital T, and remaining 50% of the gametes will have small t. That means this capital T and small t or pair of alleles segregates during the gamete formation in such a way that, how they are segregated? In such a way that each gamete contain only one factor. This is what the law of segregation, separation during the gamete formation condition. Or homozygotes, or this, right? When you consider the homozygotes, all the gametes will have only one type of factor. Here also one type of factor will be gained by the gametes. But if you consider the heterozygous condition or heterozygotes, the gametes produced will have either capital T or small t. This chances of distribution of these two is 50-50. Okay, this is law of segregation or second law.